It's 9 in the morning. I just saw my comments and got like 50 requests to review this video. So since it's so popular and everyone wants me to see it, we're gonna see how Jamie makes his pho. If you do happen to enjoy this video, then be sure to give it a like and a share, and let's get started. Earl Grey tea. I need something to wake up right now to watch this. It looks like Jamie did it again. This is the third time that Uncle Roger has been kidnapped.
Who are you? What the hell is this?
What the hell, the 40,000 you owe us, Uncle Roger?
What 40,000? Your casino all rigged. You cheat me out of my money.
No, you just suck at baccarat. But today is your lucky day. My boss is very nice, man. You can either pay me all the money today, or you can watch another Jamie Oliver video.
No. I'm going to have the money. Just give me 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Today.
No, not the Jamie Oliver video.
Right now.
No.
As a kid, I used to play with duct tape because it's pretty common in the US. And trust me, if you have a lot of hair, it hurts. It really does. Ay, gambling's not a good thing. Children, be careful and don't end up like Uncle Roger having to watch a Jamie Oliver video or pay the money back. I don't know which is worse.
I've got an incredible recipe to show you. It's a long and slow cook, so it's perfect to indulge in at the weekend. Guys, we're gonna make pho, a classic French Vietnamese dish, which actually, faux pas, it should be called pho.
Correct. It pronounced pho. Like, how is Jamie gonna fuck it up this time?
Jamie is right about that. It is a French Vietnamese dish. The French introduced it to Vietnam and the Vietnamese changed it.
This dish is all about steaming beef broth. In Vietnam, chefs are famous.
Okay, this bowl don't look terrible, but that food stylist job, let's see if the ingredient correct.
Come alive as the boiling broth is poured over them.
You wanna know the funny thing? I just reviewed a video literally the other day of pho.
Doing it with steak, which is traditional what they do it in Vietnam, but you could do it with chicken, you could do it with prawns or tofu or whatever you like.
Wait, no.
And I explained a lot of things in that video. And lo and behold, I'm reviewing another video unexpectedly about the same thing and Jamie's making it on top of it. So I'll try to explain a few things today, but I don't want to repeat myself because otherwise when you see that video, it's just going to be the same thing again and again. Golly.
This is the key. Bones. The convenience of the stock cube is fine, but that ain't stock.
Bone correct, but Jamie, I hope you wash it first. That look a bit dirty.
Now what Uncle Roger means by this is that when you make pho, you want to make a broth that is pretty much clear. Obviously it's not going to be perfectly clear, but it shouldn't be cloudy. And one way to make it clearer is by cleaning the bones, getting rid of all the proteins, the blood and everything else, so that way you end up with a clearer stock at the end. In the West, we don't do this. We typically roast the bones instead of boiling them to wash them. We don't bother with that because for us it's flavor, but in Vietnam, they do.
Have a conversation with your butcher about beef bones. This has got marrow in it as well, so this is like a super bone.
Super bone? What the hell is super bone? This pho, not your Tinder bio.
Because this will just jellify and just fall out. We want to roast it. We want to develop and amp up that flavour. With a killer combo of Asian favourites. Sesame oil.
Sesame oil!
What?
He fucked up already, Nephew Lone Shark. Sesame oil in pho?
That bullshit.
He's adding sesame oil now. It's gonna burn. The sesame oil is a very good oil, but is more of an oil to flavor it than it is an oil to like saute and to cook in. For that, you need another type of oil. And the oil that he's using, the sesame seeds have already been toasted. This is why the oil is darker.
There are no sesame oil in pho. Here we go again. Food terrorist Jamie.
With a killer combo of Asian favourites.
And what is this killer combo of Asian favorite? Asia, not just one big country, Jamie. Hiya. That like Uncle Roger going, oh, let's use killer combo of white favorite. Burger, hot dog, and baked bean. Mix them all together, make one dish.
Or it's kind of like Rachel Ray's video that we recently reviewed as well with her making pozole.
And we're gonna use two buddies that love to go everywhere together in Mexican cooking. Coriander and cumin.
Now, just because sesame oil is common to use, doesn't mean that it goes in everything.
Cinnamon.
Cinnamon, correct.
Star anise, cloves and ginger.
Star anise, clove,
Squash
ginger,
it.
okay. But squash for
That's what we
what?
want. When you roast that, it tastes completely different than chopping it or slicing it.
No, it don't.
Okay, it's amazing.
It's amazing. I enjoy watching Jamie in the morning. He's a character and a half.
Get these into an oven at 180 degrees Celsius or 350 Fahrenheit for a couple of hours.
Cup of out! You,
So what?
nephew Long Shot, you see this? He roasts the bone marrow. Couple of hours. Then all the bone marrow is just gonna dissolve and evaporate into oven. You want the bone marrow melting into broth to season it. You don't want to season your oven with bone marrow. Do you know how much bone marrow costs, nephew Long Shot? It's expensive, you know?
Very expensive.
Yeah? I can tell you can't even afford bone marrow. Correct? You have to do this kind of job.
That's why we make you watch the video. Tell the people what's wrong.
You're using bone marrow, but all you have left now is bone. The only way you can smell anything is if you stick your head into oven. Go ahead, go. Everybody want you to do that?
And Jamie's doing a very Western approach when it comes to making any stocks or broths. He's roasting the bones. This is something that we do to help bring out more flavor. So with pho, we boil the bones first to wash them, and then we actually cook and make the stock.
So what you get is the most amazing smells.
What amazing smell.
Let the marrow melt out. Let the spices toast. Let the fat render.
And let Jamie destroy your hope and dream.
As said, kidnapped Uncle Roger.
Let the flavor develop with caramelization and the kind of browning of bones.
And he also putting the cinnamon, the star anise in there. The spice for pho, you just lightly roast to bring out flavor. You don't just blast it in furnace. That broth gonna taste terrible.
Jamie is quite honestly, I think, in trying to save time, so he's just putting all the spices in the oven and roasting those with the bones instead of actually taking a pan and doing it in a pan where you can actually control how much you want to toast the spices. So he's winging it. Quite honestly, this is like Jamie making his famous soba ramen.
Step 1. The broth. In a pan, fry off a handful of pork bones, 8 chicken wings, 2 thumb-sized pieces of ginger, and 5 cloves of garlic in a little drizzle of sesame oil. Pop in the oven for 45 minutes at 200 degrees Celsius and just let it do its thing.
So if any of you haven't seen that, see that video. Honestly, that video was like horrible. And this is turning into being the same type of recipe.
Then we're going to add another layer of flavor to the story. We have a couple of beautiful lemongrass.
Lemongrass,
and just give it a slap.
wrong for pho.
He loves to smack lemongrass. He does it in all the videos. And after, he gives it a little sniff.
Give it a spank. But if you smell it,
Let's see if he does it.
lemongrass. And just give it a slap to break it up and get that in. Follow it up with 4 tablespoons of soy sauce.
Soy sauce,
2 tablespoons.
No, soy sauce in pho. Oh my God, that's the biggest mistake. Uncle Roger's so upset. I have to put my leg down in desert. Nephew Long Shot, you happy now? Seeing Jamie do this to your food?
The people need to see what he do today.
Why do you kidnap Jamie? Why you kidnap me?
Because Jamie don't gamble, man.
It's not just that the soy sauce is a no-no, it's that Jamie is adding the soy sauce to a very, very hot pan. It depends on how hot it is and if he's burning it or anything, but he already added sesame oil to this. It's already burnt.
Soy sauce in pho completely wrong. It like ketchup on carbonara. Flavor from pho come from the bone, come from spice, not from soy sauce.
And get that in. Follow it up with 4 tablespoons of soy sauce, 2 tablespoons of fish sauce, and
Fish sauce correct, but that too little.
bring that to the boil now, at least 2 hours. If it takes 3 or 4 hours and you keep topping it up with water,
Ew, look at that broth. Nephew Long Shot, look at this. Pho broth supposed to be clean and beautiful and clear, but this one dirtier than your browser history.
This looks horrible. The reason why the broth is so dark, 1, because he roasted the bone, but 2, because he also added soy sauce. Now, for comparison, when we reviewed Nick DiGiovanni making his pho,
Discard our lemon halves and bring the pot to high heat, boiling the bones and meat for 5 minutes.
but this just looks brown as hell. This honestly has a color that looks like something else that, well, I shouldn't say on TV. It's too early in the morning and I'm sure their children are watching, so use your imaginations.
Cool. This coffee smells like shit.
That's true.
You look like you support many OnlyFans people.
Only 74. Get back to work, man. Trời.
It's all good, but you want to develop and extract as much flavour from those bones as possible. After as many hours as you can give it, magic happens. Let's have a little taste.
He's gonna say it tastes heavenly because everything does, everything's perfect.
Heavenly.
He tastes the soup, then he take 5 seconds before he say heavenly. Uncle Roger think he lying to people.
The depth of flavour, it makes me feel good. The broth is done.
What? No,
Steak
your
is
broth not done. Your broth. Pho broth supposed to be balance of flavor, little bit salty, little bit sweet. But your pho broth just soy sauce and fish sauce, both salty. If your pho broth tastes like ocean, you fucked up.
Not to mention that he's boiling the you-know-what out of that broth. I mean, if you take a look at that, the steam coming off, the evaporation, he's boiling the you-know-what out of it. It needs to be on a lower simmer. When you boil, it will make the stock cloudier. This is why when you're making either chicken stock, beef stock, or anything and you want it clearer, you put it on a low simmer because the proteins will make the stock cloudy. There are ways to obviously purify it, clean it, and to also make a consommé later on if you want to make a very clear soup. But the way that he's making this right now, no, he's rushing.
Foolproof too. Now I'm slightly mixing up because I'm using a cut of meat that I think is underloved. Skirt of beef. You have to cook this.
Why are you holding that stick like this?
What I'm going to do is
Like cop holding evidence.
pan. I'm going to get into the pan here.
The skirt steak comes from under the rib section, so more or less right here on the cow. And when you cut it, it is a good idea to cut across the grain instead of along the grain, just like flank steak, because otherwise it'll be super tough.
Wait, what you doing?
I'm also going to take an onion.
Beef
cut it-
or pho, you either cook with broth together, or you just plate at the end as garnish, then you pour broth over to cook it. Why you just randomly cooking beef in pan? This not barbecue, don't grill steak.
I'm going to get into the pan.
The video that we just reviewed, they were doing the exact same thing. They were searing the steak before actually cutting it and putting it in the broth. Again, I think the idea is more of a Western approach. You want to get a nice sear on the steak for a little bit of texture, which is fine, but if you're going to do it, you want a screaming hot pan, in and out, just enough to get a little bit of a crust, and then you want to cut it paper thin.
Here, really screaming hot pan. I'm
The
also
pan
gonna take
screaming
an
hot,
onion,
Uncle
cut it
Roger
into
screaming
quarters.
not.
I want to just scald it and char it.
Onion not gonna save you, Jamie.
Brown it. I'm going to cook it medium rare blue. Onions, just bash them up, break them up. You don't need to cook them loads, okay? You want a little bit of life left in them, but that char, that smokiness, we do want. Beautiful. This is traditionally served with a little pickled garlic.
Garlic.
It's a lovely little condiment. that,
Correct,
you know,
but
think of it like
this
horseradish sauce
not
when
gonna
you
save
roast
you.
it.
This not gonna do any different.
With a pinch of salt and sugar and a splash of vinegar.
Now in the end, the pickled garlic is not going to save you. If you are enjoying this video, then be sure to give it a like and subscribe to the channel, especially for the effort of trying to review this in such short amount of time. I go on holiday in 2 days. Cancun. I've reviewed enough of Jamie's recipes to know that if I remade this, which I don't really want to, I absolutely don't, I have a feeling it's not going to turn out very well.
And then just a tiny little spoon will just be a little pep, a little pep,
What that sound effect?
a little pep, a little pep,
Little pep, little pep.
a little pep, a little pep.
Jamie love his sound effect. He got pep, pep, and of course,
Woo! Yeah!
I would love to see a video with Uncle Roger and Jamie, and like I said before, many videos. I would love to be a judge in that video, or at least be present if they made this video together.
Yeah!
Just think of the amount of views and money you could make from this. It'll be millions.
Dissolve that salt and sugar, and there we go, guys. Most supermarkets sell white or brown rice noodles, and they
brown
just need
rice
soaking
noodle.
in boiling
Uncle Roger never hear of brown rice noodle. Nephew Lone Shark, brown rice noodle. Have you heard of this shit?
Never before.
Yeah, that like some healthy white people shit. Brown rice noodle. What next? Brown rice sushi.
Brown rice noodles, you know what I think that Jamie's talking about? Soba noodles. It's just like the statement for the lasagna.
It's brilliant. You can get it in all the supermarkets.
You can find fresh lasagna sheets in every grocery store. Well, maybe in the UK, maybe now, but in 2015, 2016, when I was in England, I didn't see any fresh lasagna in Tesco, Sainsbury's, or any other grocery store. And I remade that lasagna video, so if any of you want to see the results of my lasagna remake of Jamie's, check out that video.
And they just need soaking in boiling water. Let's load up. And then I'm gonna slice up.
No. Beef too thick for pho.
Come on, guys. Look at that. And you can see how raw that is, but don't forget the broth is gonna cook it.
Yes, the broth cook it. So why you cook it in pan? Why? Jamie, have you ever had pho before? You ever see this thick-ass beef floating in pho?
Now, Jamie is doing a good thing by not cutting along the grain, he's cutting across the grain, so when you bite into it, it's not gonna be like rubber, but he's cutting it way too thick. You wanna cut it paper thin, just a couple millimeters thick, like paper thin. So not only helps to cook faster when you add the broth to it, but it also helps to chew it when you're eating it. So instead of having a thick piece of meat that you're trying to chew with chopsticks and everything else, you have a thinner piece of meat which is easier to eat.
Have you ever eaten pho before?
Yeah. Add some crunch with spring onions, chilies, bean sprouts.
Chili, bean sprouts, spring onion, fine, fresh herb, correct.
That amazing garlic and that.
But this overall disaster.
We go in with that fantastic broth over the meat, and it will start to change colour, and the herbs will infuse. That, my friends, is a beautiful thing. Look how the hot broth cooks that rareness.
What poke?
But it's
You're not gonna find flavour in there.
and gorgeous.
Presentation-wise, if we take a look at this, it's not bad. It actually looks pretty good. Now, the flavor again is another thing, which it may not be very flavorful, but at least for presentation, it looks good.
This is a really beautiful, therapeutic dish for this cold, windy day. They're gonna love it.
You know it's not good because all it tastes is one strand of noodle and one little teaspoon of broth. Camera guy don't even need to yell cut. That's how you know the food bad. When Uncle Roger eat good pho, you know Uncle Roger can't stop eating, correct?
Correct.
Good pho, you sit down on a chair like this actually, you know? In Vietnam, you sit down, it's always small chair like this, you sit down, eat your pho, and then you finish the whole bowl in one sitting. Jamie, the fact that he just eat one strand of noodle and just one sip of broth, Uncle Roger knows that how you tell the food bad.
Kind of like Jamie's pad thai. He only ate just a little bit and he said it was wonderful.
A dish that's healthy.
He eat one bite. Notice how he only eat one bite. No second bite. He just pushing noodle around. Even he know it's terrible.
Super nutritious and really cool.
Oh, look at that, Jum.
Oh no.
It's drooling.
You feeding this to your friend? Uncle Roger not even gonna feed this to my enemy.
When I pour the broth over the meat, you're actually cooking it.
Yeah, look at that.
So you see that meat change, and then of course when it hits the herbs, it becomes almost like an infusion, like a cup of tea.
And the aromas are incredible. I mean, it's just wonderful.
What he gonna think?
It's quite spicy.
Spicy? Where got spice?
How you getting on
Just
with
like one slice of chili. He's spicy.
As I've said many times, not everybody has the same spice level, so some people can't take spicy food at all. And for everybody that can't take spicy food and you're traveling to like India or Southeast Asia, be careful. Some of the food can be very spicy.
And the broth?
Really nice. The broth. I mean, the combo's great.
He asked how the broth, and the guy go, the broth? Oh, the combo, great.
The broth. I mean, the combo's great.
No word for the broth, that means it's shit. The broth so dark and cloudy. Then no meat flavor, no bone flavor in there. It's just soy sauce and fish sauce. Have you eaten pho before, Jamie? Have you even seen pho in real life? How about this, Uncle Roger pay you to fly to Vietnam, fly you to Ho Chi Minh City, okay? I pay for your flight. Just one-way ticket, so you stuck there for a while, learn how to make good pho.
And after a couple of weeks in Vietnam, Jamie can then go to India and learn from Chef Ranveer on how to make a real butter chicken. That would be great. We should make a petition. Everyone, if you think that Jamie should go to Southeast Asia and learn a little bit of like cuisine, then let's write to Jamie. Let's see if we can get him to take a holiday.
Woo! Yeah!
Uncle Roger defeated. Nephew Loan Shark, you happy now? I reviewed this, you happy now?
Consider your debt settled, okay? Go, Roger.
Hey, wait. Let me go. No, wait, let my laptop come
Now, I've lived in Los Angeles, in Phoenix, Arizona, Tucson, as well as Santa Fe, New Mexico. I grew up in the Southwest. And one thing you want to be careful of, this is just for everyone to know, it's not a good idea to play in the dirt in the Southwest. Not just because you have rattlesnakes, scorpions, pumas, javelinas, and other critters. It's also because of a thing called valley fever. I won't go too much into it, but in any case, it's worse for animals than it is for humans. But I have known people to catch it as well. And if you run into scorpions, the rule is the smaller they are, the worse they are, and if they're clear, run away. Extremely venomous. Let's see some outtakes now.
Damn. You slowly squat down. Take your time with it. This is your moment. Yeah.
This is how you're gonna get laid the next time.
Yeah. You want me to feel scared.
Or watch another Jamie Oliver Pho video.
No, no, I give you money next week.
Right now, or die.
All right, we got it.
Wow, that was something. I mean, presentation-wise, it doesn't look that bad, but the steps that Jamie went into roasting the bones, adding soy, adding sesame, roasting the spices as well. It's just these little things here and there that add up at the end that doesn't make the dish not even authentic. It just probably doesn't make it super tasty. And not to mean that I'm trying to be mean with Jamie, we have reviewed multiple recipes. And the only one that was somewhat okay was the carbonara. Overall, if you have tried this recipe, let us know in the comments down below if it tastes okay, whether or not it does. But other than that, I hope all of you enjoyed this video. I tried to make this video as quickly as possible, so for the effort, please be sure to subscribe and like and share. But most importantly, be sure to check out this next video coming up here, because then the algorithm thinks that you like my channel more. And well, I'll see you again very soon. Until then, take care.
Es más que suficiente.